you want space. Is that correct? You want free speech space?
We just want space.
We're just trying to get people for our club.
Yeah, that's fine. I can give you space in here, but I can't give you space out there just because the city of Phoenix has set aside those spaces for weeks. And we really are only supposed to allow 4 people. We really made an exception to be able to allow 10 today. So out here you're going to have a much better chance, but that is very much a theme for domestic violence, and we want to keep the theme that. So I can bring it to have that same table brought in here for you both, and you can still take advantage of the crowd that's in here. But for today, that space.
So there's a special event outside.
Yes, the city of Phoenix has got that space reserved for the Pink Phoenix Purple activities.
And Wells Fargo is involved in that?
Wells Fargo was pre-reserved that through Career Services. I didn't know about them, but they had made their reservation through our Career Services office, and the city of Phoenix made their reservation through us.
And what's the reservation for?
Anybody who's using the free speech zone, which is the space between the game room and the blue pillars, can reserve that space within a 2-day notification period, and that's why we have the reservation form. Any group that's not filling this out can be asked to leave, and that's something that has been consistent for the last few years. So you've got your choice. Do you want a table out here? I'm willing to work with you. Okay. So do you want a table out here, or do you want to come back another day?
So there's the free speech zone?
There is. Yes, it's a Maricopa Community College policy. It went into effect about 2 years ago.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Even though it's a public school?
Yeah, and the public has the right to use a space within a 2-day notification period. But we don't regulate the content. We just regulate time, place, and manner, which is something that the Maricopa colleges have been doing for the last couple of years. So, would you like a table, or would you like to come back?
Do you want to move inside?
Yeah, I guess. It's
Okay.
really our only choice. So.
Yeah.
All right, I'll have one brought in for you in just a while. Thank you.
Outside today, but we can still have you set up inside where all the kids eat. So you got.
I don't really want to set up inside the cafeteria, so I think we're just gonna move the table.
Like, can we just
We're just gonna move
be
the
somewhere else away from this event?
We're not harming anybody.
Well, no, I understand
We're
that.
not protesting.
I'm just
not
passing
towards
on the
you,
word
but
here.
Yeah, no, 100%. If you would just let us move our table, and if they want to come out and talk to us about it, they can.
Well, here comes Mike right now. We'll figure it out where you.
Cool.
Let's figure it out.
Like, is there anywhere else we could go?
The front.
Yeah. Ask him.
I was saying they really don't want to move inside
To the front of the
Just right there.
That's not an approved space.
Yeah.
Well, even having a freedom of speech is unconstitutional.
That's not true. So, and I
That's not true.
That's not true.
Why?
So, well, because our district legal has already pursued this with the Arizona state government, so we already know this is an improved way of going about doing this. So you can move inside, or I could have you leave. So you can take your choice at this point.
So it's a state regulation or a federal regulation?
You can have free speech zones. This is definitely both an example of allowing free speech, but also doing it within time, place, and manner, and that's been protected for sure.
So clubs aren't allowed to just set up and...
Not without proper notification.
Well, I had proper notification.
You didn't. We have the form.
From
I don't have the
Ryan.
form, but
From-
she told you to fill out the form. and
She
that's
didn't tell me to fill out the
She
form.
did. That's what she was
What
telling
form?
me. The one that I just showed both
Well,
of
she
you.
didn't tell me that earlier.
She told me that she told you. So either one of you isn't telling me the truth. So.
Either one of us?
No,
Well-
me or Ryan.
Oh. Well, I'm just
Ryan
confused
never-
because this is a public school, right?
Right, within guidelines.
So, but if it's
okay,
if it's a
wait,
public
that doesn't
school,
make any sense that this is the freedom of speech zone, but you're trying to move us into a building.
Well,
where
because you
there-
don't have notification. You're supposed to give 2 days notification. You would know if you filled out the form.
Well, what's the difference between being in the cafeteria and just being in front of the school?
Because you didn't give us notification, and we have a designated zone.
So I get that you're trying to work with us and move us into the cafeteria.
Yes.
But I just don't understand why we can't change the place in the cafeteria just to the front of the school. Like, there's not really a difference.
Because the
It's
college
just a
is the
The big thing there is because we.
We don't know where it is, but it's relatively simple to get to. And then two, it helps us make sure that, like, because sometimes we do bigger events out there. If we're doing a giant event, like, you basically don't get heard. So if you go to our main page, and what I really recommend doing is if you just type in free speech. Maybe not. All right, we'll try student life. And if you give me your email address, I can email you the link for this, so you
Okay.
have it. But it gives us, like, you come in, you check in with us, we give you, like, badges and stickers so people don't mess with you because you know you're supposed to be here. And we make sure you're, like, in the space. We make sure, like, public safety is made aware. So it just kind of, like, lets everyone know that, like, you're here, you have the right to be here, you've done everything that you need to do. Where is it? Hopefully. Guidelines for public expression on campus.
So are you kind of like the point person on the whole free speech zone thing?
I work in student life, and we kind of like coordinate that with everybody. So, and two, it's like super important because like we had like a guy doing a proposition for marijuana, and he's got like 420 and everything up all over the place. Like if that guy doesn't have like the thing on, he's gonna get hassled to like no end. So that's kind of why we try to make sure it's there because.